Interestingly, these were the top two teams that we saw in the league stages of the IPL. These are the two teams that played qualifier 1, and once again it will be these two teams that will play the final 2. What we're going to do now is take a look at some 5 very interesting facets about this finals. Not your regular head-to-head records, not your regular bowling performances, batting performances, but 5 very interesting facets. And the first one that you see on your screen, we're giving it a title of Last Day First Show. That's because it is going to be the last day of the IPL season 2024, which is the finale, game number 74. But it's the first time that these two teams will be playing in the final of an IPL. They have played finals before. As you can see, we've had 17 IPL finals so far. KKR have played 4 times. Sunrisers Hyderabad have played 3 times. And the most by any team, the most final that we've seen, no surprises for guessing, CSK versus Mumbai Indians. They played 4 times. But KKR versus SRH has never been a final before. So it is going to be the first time these two teams will be competing against each other in an IPL final. That's the first interesting aspect about this final. Okay, we're turning our attention to another important and an interesting aspect about this final game, and that is what we are calling no Indian in Indian Premier League. Now, don't mistake it for no Indian player playing in the final, but what we're trying to get at is the fact that the Indian World Cup team has been announced. 15 members have been picked to play for India in the same format, in the World Cup of same format, that is T20. And none of those 15 players will feature in the IPL final. So all the World Cup bound players will be leaving for the US and the West Indies, some today, some day after. Not a single one of them will be playing the IPL final, and that does not reflect very well on the Indian team, Indian T20 team, which will be playing the biggest tournament in T20 cricket. So that's another interesting bit about this final. Okay, interesting facet number 3 about the IPL final this time around, and that is what we are calling Paisa Vasool. Why are we saying that? Because 2 of the most expensive players in IPL history, Pat Cummins and Mitchell Starc, both will feature in this final. Remember when they went for 20.50 crore for Pat Cummins, 24.75 crore for Mitchell Starc, the highest in the history of IPL? There were a lot of criticism as to were these players worthy of this kind of a price tag. And guess what? They've justified that price tag. It's the bang on the buck kind of a aspect that they bring to their cricket. And on that, they have made it to the final. So on one side for Kolkata, you'll have Mitchell Starc. On the other side for Sunrisers, you will have a Pat Cummins. Okay, interesting facet number 4 we're going to be looking at. Remember, these are things that you will look at in our final, which are not your regular bits. And that is, again, we're featuring 2 Aussies like last time around. This is the all-conquering duo. Who are these? This is Pat Cummins and Travis Head. What is common between these two and playing in India? This is the duo of Pat Cummins and Travis Head that won the WTC final to become the best test team in the world. Who did they beat in the final? They beat India. Who was the captain? Pat Cummins. Who was the man of the match? Travis Head. What happened in the ODI World Cup of 2023? Who was the winning captain who beat India in the final? Pat Cummins. Who was the player of the match? Travis Head. Now the question is, these two combining together have made it to another final, this time of the Indian Premier League. Pat Cummins is once again the captain. Will Travis Head be the man of the match? Will SRH win it? And will Pat Cummins also become the winning captain? If that is to be the case, it'll be a freaky coincidence if that was to happen. So that is another very interesting aspect about this final. And finally, the one thing that is common between these two teams that we will be seeing in this season of the IPL, that is, this is a team that finished at the bottom of the table. So if you were to look at the points table this season, you are looking at the laggards from last season. So if you look at the position, it is, which is not very evident It's KKR that finished at number 7 with only 12 points, and SRH actually finished last on the points table with just 8 points. So number 7 and number 10, that means the two laggards from last time around. Last season, nobody gave them a hope last season, and that's where they had finished. But look what a turnaround they've had this season. Both teams, laggards, have now made it into the final this season.